This is the Season Long Podcast in support of the YouTube channel SeasonLongBaller. Happy to have you with us, and I hope you're having a great day. So what we do on the YouTube channel SeasonLongBaller, we play the video game NBA 2K23 in my NBA mode, of course, the modern era. And there, we are mirroring the actual NBA season all the way through NBA 2K23 player build Jaymont Summerz. And we built that player back in October at the beginning of the season on the Washington Wizards. He is a 6'5" point guard out of William & Mary that, of course, we built. 78 started the season as a 78 overall, and we have been playing the season, as I mentioned, through him. So the season, we actually mirror the actual Washington Wizards schedule. So when the actual Wizards play, we have been playing a game through on NBA 2K23. And here on the podcast, we just review some of the things that have happened during the season, during the week, and what's coming up, and some of the things that happen in the simulation in the league, because obviously it is different than the real league. So jumping right on into it, or what happened last week, we had a major victory over the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I say major because back in October, the Cavaliers destroyed us. Third game of the season, the Wizards were 2-0. We had been playing well, and the Cavaliers defeated us by, I believe it was more than 20 points, and shot something like 65% from the field. And you've probably heard me mention, and I said it on the YouTube channel, that every time they did happen to miss, center Jared Allen did get the rebound. So that didn't help matters at all, as I think they had 10 offensive rebounds in that game. But nonetheless, in Cleveland, it was a mass destruction for the Wizards. However, here on the 6th, the Wizards get some measure of revenge by defeating the Cavaliers 86-75. That was followed up with an 82-78 barn burner against the Hornets. Again, the last time that the Wizards played the Hornets did get the victory. And if the Hornets had won this game, it would have ended up being a season split. So it would have been 2-2. 82-78 victory, however, for the Wizards. And that means the Wizards will take the season series 3-1. Then the week ended, as you know, on Saturday, 75-57 victory over the Pacers. All the games against the Pacers have been pretty hard fought. And the Pacers, however, we will get the season win over the Pacers with that season series 4-0 in favor of the Wizards. And now the Wizards are on a 13-game winning streak. That is quite the winning streak. Second double-digit winning streak of the season. The Wizards are now 44-12, as I mentioned, on a 13-game winning streak, and leading the Eastern Conference. Second place is the 76ers, followed by the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks we have not faced yet. Again, just one of those oddities, I guess, in the NBA schedule, despite the fact that the Hawks are in the same division with the Wizards, the Southeast Division, have not faced the Hawks yet. And have already finished with the Hornets. Haven't finished the Magic, but have already finished with the Hornets, but have not seen Trae Young and the Hawks once yet. So here coming up soon, we'll be playing the Hawks 4 times. Out in the West, the number 1 seed right now is the LA Clippers at 39-20, followed by the Grizzlies, who are 35-20, and then the Mavericks, who are 35-22. As we wind down to the end of the season, this will be quite an interesting run, as I did not expect to play as well as I've been playing on the game in order for the Wizards to be in this position through Jaymont Summerz. As you have heard, sometimes I say the grind and the progress, because totally expected at the beginning of the season to really be struggling in order to get wins and to get better. And while I do think I've gotten better, especially on defense against some of the better players on the simulation, still leading the league in points surrendered. So there is that. Looking at some of the awards right now, some of the award races in our league, Luka Doncic is leading still the MVP race, followed by Jokic. Joker from the Nuggets is second. And then you have a pair of Wizards, Porzingis, the All-Star, and our player build, Jaymont Summerz, are third and fourth. And right now, fifth is Trae Young in your MVP race. Rookie of the Year, right now, we are running away with it through our player build of Jaymont Summerz. He's number 1. Chet Holmgren is number 2. And Paolo Banchero is number 3. Jabari Smith from the Rockets is your top 4. Now, again, we've talked about some of the differences, and that's one of the reasons we do the podcast, to keep you informed on what's going on in our league, especially as opposed to the actual NBA. And one of the big things here is I just mentioned Chet Holmgren obviously has been out for the season in real life, but has been a main contributor for our Oklahoma City Thunder. And as you see, he is second in the MVP, second in the rookie award race at 6.7 points a game and 3.9 rebounds a game, also adding just over a block a game as well. Sixth man of the year, something I have not mentioned that much, but again, Washington Wizards sitting on top of this award. Daniel Gafford, the backup center, is right now leading Ben Simmons and Kevin Love in terms of your sixth man of the year in our simulated season. And again, that is on the video game NBA 2K23, the My NBA mode, and it is the modern era. Finally, taking a quick look at your award races for the defensive player of the year. Right now, Porzingis, who is leading the league in blocks with 2.1 a game, is leading this category. He's number one, followed by Greek Freak, Giannis, and Joker round out your top three. And actually, Porzingis has kind of been in this number one position for quite some time. So it's right now the all-star for the Wizards. Porzingis could end up getting that award. We'll see if he can maintain this pace of blocks. And he's pretty much been consistent with the 2 blocks per game all season long. Now, as I mentioned, the Wizards are on a 13-game winning streak. Their last loss was on January 21st against the Orlando Magic, actually part of a 2-game losing streak, losing to the Knicks 3 days earlier on the 18th. And then it has been nothing but a roll. January 24th started that winning streak with a win over the Mavericks, win over the Rockets, a win over the Pelicans, the Spurs, and then on February 1st, which I wanted to mention, a win over the Detroit Pistons. Now, in real life, the Wizards did not play the Pistons because the Pistons, due to some inclement weather, were stuck in Texas. They had just played the Mavericks. So the NBA has rescheduled that game. And consequently, that is another difference between our league and the actual NBA. We actually have been mirroring every single game that the Wizards play. And as I mentioned earlier, when the Wizards play, we play. But in this particular case, since the NBA did postpone this game, it caused a slight difference in our particular schedules. Now, the NBA did announce that the actual Wizards-Pistons game will be made up on March 7th. They did have to, there was a corresponding move of 2 other games around it in order to facilitate this. And in regards to the Wizards have a game scheduled against the Milwaukee Bucks that was scheduled for March 6th. However, that game has now been rescheduled to March 5th. And most likely we will go ahead and play that game on March 5th as well. And of course, we'll already have that Pistons game already having been played, but we'll probably go ahead and mirror the Wizards in that regard, moving the Bucks game from the 6th to the 5th. So you can expect to see an upload on YouTube for that game on March 5th as opposed to March 6th. The dunk contest, we'll talk about the All-Star participants for the dunk contest. It's Zion Williamson, Ja Morant, Anthony Edwards, and Jalen Green of the Rockets. Because Jaymont Summerz is not in the dunk contest, we won't have to actually play that. The 3-point contest is, again, similar. Jaymont Summerz is not participating in that. Again, our player bill. So your participants there are Trae Young, Karl Anthony Towns, Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, Klay Thompson, and Damian Lillard. So again, that will be something else that we do not simulate. However, the Rising Stars game, Jaymont Summerz was selected and will be, of course, on the USA team, which is Summerz, Cade Cunningham, Scotty Barnes, Ben Caro, Evan Mobley, Jalen Green, and Deshaun Highland will be your part of the unit there for the USA. And they will be facing a world unit led by Josh Giddey, Chris Duarte, Shaedon Sharpe, Joshua Primo. So that's going to be your Rising Stars game, and we will play that game, and that should be coming up here soon. I think that will be February 14th. I believe that is the date on that one. So actually, I take that back. It will be February 17th. So that will be towards the end of the week as we are heading into the All-Star weekend. But first, we do have 3 games we have to play. First, the Golden State Warriors. That'll be later today, so hopefully you will check that out. Again, the YouTube channel is SeasonLongBaller. Going back-to-back on the West Coast, on the road again the next day, taking on the Portland Trailblazers tomorrow. So we got Warriors later today, Portland Trailblazers tomorrow on Tuesday. And then we end up the regular season part of the schedule this week with the Minnesota Timberwolves on Thursday. Now, the interesting part there, we destroyed the Timberwolves in DC back in, I think that was November. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out in Minnesota. And the Timberwolves have been playing better basketball here recently as compared to when we faced them back in DC. And then we go right into All-Star Weekend. And what'll be interesting here is, as I mentioned, the Rising Stars game is on Friday, February 17th. And then we're basically on hiatus until next Friday, February 24th, as we don't have any participation in any of the other events. Summerz is in that Rising Star game, but it's not in the All-Star game, not in the three-point contest, not in the dunk contest. Then there's the All-Star break. So next Monday, February 20th, there are no games, and the next game is not until February 24th at home. The Wizards will face the New York Knicks. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the Jaymont Summerz play of the week. And this time it is pretty much a good play from Porzingis blocking a shot.
9-point lead for the Wizards with 2:41 to go. Remember, this Cavalier team is dangerous. And, Porzingis with the block up to Summerz. Summerz will finish with the dunk. That was a nasty dunk from the NBA's leading shot blocker. Porzingis with 2.1 blocks a game. That's part of the reason why he made the All-Star game.
Porzingis really smacked that shot hard, and that started the fast break dunk to Jaymont Summerz. So again, next week, we've got the Golden State Warriors later today, the Portland Trailblazers tomorrow. Then on Thursday, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and All-Star Weekend starting this Friday. That's going to do it for this edition, number 15 of the Season Long Podcast. Thank you very much for listening and joining us, and hope to see you later today when we take on the Golden State Warriors in Golden State. And again, on YouTube, the channel is SeasonLongBaller, and this is through NBA, the video game NBA 2K23, my NBA in the modern era. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. That's it for Season Long Baller. Peace.